Good afternoon. My name is Jakara Robus, and today I will be doing a speech informing you guys on diseases and disorders that affect the way people communicate and their social life. The reason I picked this is because there's a lot of situations in the world right now that happens like this. Like, there are a lot of diseases and disorders out there that affect the way people communicate, and not a lot of people know about them and know how to manage them or help that specific person with this, or know how to communicate with this person. So I'm going to inform you how to research it and on 3 different disorders and diseases that usually affect the way people communicate with everybody, and hopefully you will get information out of this. Okay, and I actually deal with situations like this. I have a brother who's ADHD, and he can't communicate with us. Sometimes it's hard for him to talk to us and say certain things. And I also have this child in my daycare who has a disease and a disorder that affects the way she communicates with us. And my cousin also has a disorder that affects the way he communicates. And I've researched a lot and asked a lot of questions about these certain things, so I'll know better and know how to manage it better, and figured out some type of ways to help them communicate. Okay, so the first disorder I would like to talk about is ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and it's also known as ADHD. It is a neurodevelopmental disorder that impairs social, personal, and academic or occupational functioning. It usually causes dysfunction with attention and focus, memory, language, problem solving, or social interaction. You can see signs and symptoms as early as 4 to age 12, and the diagnostics for it is usually age 8 to 10. There are 3 different forms of ADHD. The first one is predominantly inattentive, which is having trouble organizing and staying focused or following certain instructions, and they're easily distracted. The second one is predominantly impulsive hyperactivity or hyperactive, meaning the child fidgets, talks a lot, can't sit down, constantly on the move, becomes very restless, struggles with impulsivity, and unable to sit or wait their turn. And the final one is combined presentation, which is a combination of both, but they're separate. They're like equally combined with each other. Like, it's equally this predominantly inactive and equally predominantly impulsive hyperactive. My little brother actually has combined, and he's equally both. And it's in certain situations, like at school, he cannot focus, and it's hard for him to talk to teachers and say what he needs to say. And he has to take medicine for it, and he's been taking medicine since he was little. He got not diagnosed when he was little, and the medicine helps him focus, and he had to go to speech therapy to help him pronounce his words correctly and not talk as fast, because we could not understand him sometimes. And he still does it sometimes, but the speech therapy helped him a lot to where he pronounces his words more correctly and we can understand what he's trying to say. Okay, and the second of the 3 I would like to talk about is delayed milestone in childhood and intractable epilepsy. Intractable epilepsy is seizures that can't be controlled by medicine. Intractable means not easily controlled or managed. And it's also called refractory, uncontrolled, and drug-resistant epileptic seizures. They happen when medicine prescribed for the seizures stopped working or doesn't work for them anymore. Or the side effects are so severe that it makes it difficult to use the medicine again. Delayed milestone in childhood is caused by a variety of factors, including heredity problems with pregnancy and premature birth. And it affects fine and gross motor skills. Like the fine motor skills are picking up a toy or picking up a crayon. And the gross motor skills are like jumping and climbing things. And it also affects speech, some type of like their speech. Like I told you in my introduction, I have a 4-year-old at my daycare who has both of these, and her seizures affects her development, and that's why she developed the delayed milestone in childhood. She has so many seizures that she is not at the developmental stage that she needs to be. She is at a 2-year-old developmental stage right now, but she knows how to talk. She can say hi and bye, and she says stop sometimes. And usually she follows. Sometimes she copies the words me and her teacher say. And she knows how to do some sort of sign language. She really gets good at it. Oh, I forgot to change it. She really gets good at saying certain things and copying certain things. And as she gets older, she gets better. So I believe that it'll get really better when she gets older. The last of 3 I will talk about is autism, which is autism spectrum disorder. And it's a developmental disorder that affects communication and behavior. They have difficulty interacting with others, and some of the symptoms hurt people's ability to function proper in certain situations, as in school, work, or other areas of life. And it's called a spectrum because the disorder has a wide variation in the type of severity in the symptoms that people experience. The treatments for autism should begin as soon as possible after diagnosis, because it is important to treat it early, because it can reduce the difficulty of the individuals and help them strengthen their skills, or strengthen their strengths. And my cousin has this, and he got diagnosed when he was a kid, when he was a baby. And he used to be really bad at communication. He used to not talk at all. But he got better when he went and started pointing at certain things and walking up to certain things. And he had his own special way of communicating with us, to where we knew what he was talking about or knew what he wanted. And as I said in my introduction, this is just to help people learn and get to know that there are certain situations out here that can actually help. Like, you can actually help people who can't communicate, and like research, ask questions, get as much information as you can to help their lives not be as bad as everybody makes it seem like. Help them live regular lives like we do. Okay, thank you. I hope this speech was informative and helped you in some sort of way.